85 years, the West Texas town of El Paso has been a college football holiday tradition. Today, two storied programs, Stanford and Pitt, have returned to this historic mining town to help ring in the new year. John Elway helped establish Stanford's prolific passing legacy, and this remains their formula for success.
Same play, same result. Touchdown Cardinal.
Harkening back to the days of Tony Dorsett, Pitt prefers to travel by land.
He's off to the races. He is amazing.
So today, for Pitt and Stanford, another chance to create an indelible football memory here in the 85th Hyundai Sun Bowl. And living up to its name, beautiful sunshine for the Hyundai Sun Bowl in El Paso. And our matchup, the ACC and the Pac-12, the Stanford Cardinal against the Pitt Panthers. And the Pitt fans have made their way to West Texas, as have the folks from California.
El Paso in the Sun Bowl with CBS. It's a tradition. Happy New Year, everybody. Yes, sir. Woo-hoo!
Thank you, amigo, and welcome everybody for 85 years. 51 of those years, CBS has been part of the Sun Bowl, and we bring you another one with Pitt and Stanford today. I'm Brad Nessler with Gary Danielson. Jamie Odell will be along shortly. You know, a couple years ago we were here, and Christian McCaffrey made headlines by not playing in this game. He prepared for the NFL draft. Bryce Love came in. He was a star in that game. He's not here due to an injury, and it's a whole different looking group now for Stanford.
It is. 2 years pass, and they look a lot different, don't they? I mean, before they ran, and now
it's through the air.
You got it. I don't really blame them. You know, with injuries and things that happen, it has been KJ Costello's football team. He broke out at the end of last season. His ability to throw the ball deep. The talent for Stanford is on the wings with tight ends and wide receivers, and they've really gone almost dominantly in the passing game, and that guy has been a dominant receiver for Stanford, and today Pitt is going to have to stop him all day. It's going to be a passing game first for Stanford.
And on the other hand, Pittsburgh, Pat Narduzzi, their head coach, says, guys, this might be a 1985 football game. We're actually going to huddle, we're going to run the ball, and they got a couple guys that do it very well.
And for this game, I think that strategy will work well. For the first time in Pitt history, those two guys, two 1,000-yard rushers. Quadri is an inside, run right at you, take you into the end zone with them. For Hall, he kind of plants that foot, gives it a shake, but the offense will start with the running backs and then go to the passing game, and that keeps the ball away from Stanford.
The Stanford Cardinal taking the field for the Hyundai Sun Bowl, making their 5th Sun Bowl appearance, 3-1 in their previous 4 appearances in this bowl game. And the Pitt Panthers, the ACC Coastal champions, making their 4th trip to the Sun Bowl, 2-1 in their previous appearances. And we check in, third member of our team, Jamie Erdahl. Jamie?
Well, Brad, you two talked about that special spark coming out of the Pittsburgh backfield in Darren Hall and Quadri Allison. Now, they have a special relationship now, but indeed their connection with not only Pat Narduzzi, but with Pitt football started well before their time on campus, especially for Darren Hall. He's from the Youngstown, Ohio area, so when Pat Narduzzi went to his home for one of his official visits, it wasn't just to see the recruit, it was to reconnect with some high school friends. Darren's uncle Keith and also his father Darren went to Ursuline High School together in the Youngstown area. But you know, the problem with seeing an old friend from high school is they seem to know where all your old pictures are hidden. Circa 1984, you are seeing this photo of Pat Narduzzi in his high school glory days. And what a photo it was for Narduzzi. Now, when Quadri, as a freshman at Pittsburgh, heard that there was a tailback coming in Darren Hall that had family connection with Narduzzi, he thought, what am I going to do? This kid's going to come in and take my job coming out of the backfield. Instead, they push each other, they drive each other, and it has all come full circle for the Hall and Narduzzi family.
Oh boy, we spent about a half an hour with those two yesterday. Two great young men to talk to, and as Jamie said, they push each other to the limit. Pat Narduzzi, longtime defensive coordinator, Michigan State, before becoming the Pitt head coach, now in his 4th year. I said they won the Coastal of the ACC before losing to Clemson in the ACC title game, but a lot of people on Clemson this year.
Yeah, I want to say first time in history, but it hasn't been a long history, but still an accomplishment. You know, I mean,
no doubt.
As you say, there's only a few elite teams that are going to play, you know, with Clemson and Alabama and, you know, Georgia, the top teams, Notre Dame, Oklahoma. But, you know, this Pitt team has played a few undefeated teams, haven't they? 3 of them.
Yeah, 3 of them this year. UCF, Notre Dame, and Clemson. Well, Stanford won the toss. They want the football. Alex Kessman has got it teed up for the Panthers of Pitt. Cameron Scarlett, the deep man for the Cardinal. And he's going to take a knee. And at quarterback, KJ Costello, Gary talked about. Big numbers this year. Over 3,400 yards, passing and 29 touchdowns. First snap for Stanford. High snap, in fact, and a handoff to Scarlett. And he's hit at the line of scrimmage by Shane Roy for no gain. As we take a look at the Chick-fil-A starting lineups. And it starts with number 3, the aforementioned KJ Costello.
Well, I saw practice. He had a great day at practice, and it was terrible weather. He completed passes. I never even took my hands out of my pockets on whatever day it was, 3 days ago.
It's hard to remember what day of the week it even is. Here's KJ's first pass attempts. Down the middle and overshot his intended receiver. It was Scarlett out of the backfield. As we take a look at the rest of the Cardinal starting lineup. Kobe Parkinson, one of the biggest tight ends in the world at 6'7". Part of that group. And the Pittsburgh defense looks like this. And they've got change at middle linebacker because Elias Reynolds, due to a coach's decision, would have been the starter. Chase Pine gets it instead. So Elias did something while he was in El Paso that he wasn't supposed to do, I guess.
Yep.
That happens sometimes in bowl games.
I think he went to the spot the Summerall used to go to back in the day.
Summerall, Brookshire, and Reynolds.
Right, same spot.
Costello, deep, overshot Parkinson, incomplete.
He is throwing into the wind. It is a strong left to right wind. So if you're going to throw that type of throw, those 25-yard throws, you got to really cut it into the wind. If it bobbles at all, that thing will sail in any direction like a knuckleball, and that knuckled on him.
Well, we talked about it being nice and sunny, but we didn't mention what Gary just talked about. Even when they open the door to the back of our booth, we almost fly out into the crowd. So a punting situation, Jake Bailey to kick. Arujo Lopes back deep. That's kind of a knuckleball as well on the punt. And taken on a hop. Gutsy move, but a good one.
Yeah, really smart move. That ball could have bounced another 10 yards backwards or forward, either direction, but the best way to do it is field it. Stanford just looked slow covering that punt, to tell you the truth. Pitt so far has been more ready to play in this football game. Look at that, just kind of one guy there to stop the punt. There was no reason not to field it on the bounce.
So that gives the Panthers offense and their starting lineup good field position to work. As we take a look at the Chick-fil-A starting lineups for Pittsburgh. And it starts with Kenny Pickett at quarterback. Young guy, still a work in progress, but he'll be the undisputed leader of this team next year when some of the seniors graduate. On the ground they go, just like we predicted, and a pickup of 5 for Olesen. And the Pittsburgh offense that joins the group looks like this. George Aston, we're going to watch him. We already had him with an offside penalty on the kickoff, but he's a fullback and he's a throwback. Defensively for Stanford, looks like this. Bobby Okereke, their leading tackler, coming in at the inside linebacker spot.
If we could get a shot of that huddle, I'd like to circle it just for a lot of college football fans that haven't seen one. Just to show you what we used to do.
Here's a first throw and a completion. Is it going to be a first down? I guess he gave some ground and he's going to be short. Maurice French on the catch.
And Brad mentioned Kenny Pickett burst onto the scene last year in the last game of the year against Miami. At number 2 in the country, Miami. And as Brad mentioned, started kind of the waterfall going the wrong direction for Miami. And he led them and kind of made a name for himself. Now this year's team was more built for the running game. But as mentioned, he will be the centerpiece of this offense going into next season.
Sophomore out of Oakhurst, New Jersey. 3rd and 1, little bobbled snap, but a first down anyway for Olesen, who just powers his way down near the 43-yard line.
Still footprints in this Pitt offense that Sean Watson is running of the Matt Canada offense that 2 years ago he was the offensive coordinator.
Sweep motion and
there's Sean to the right side. Tim Salem, an old friend, Purdue coach that Brad and I worked with for years next to him. Those are the two guys that's kind of running this thing on the offensive side. But a lot of shifts and motions, but kind of basic plays.
French in motion, handoff inside, and pushing his way is Darren Hall. So the 1-2 punch, we've already seen it. First it was Olesen picking up first down, and now Hall gets some of that penalty marker yardage back.
Ness, we showed number 35 with the penalty. Let's show number 35 Aston making the play on the block here. Coming Ross, kicking it out. There it is. Get that block all day and run the football.
Not a lot of fullbacks in college football anymore, but he'll be a player at the next level, whether it's special teams or a fullback.
100%. He's got too many variables that he brings to an offense. Catches the ball well, too.
2nd and 13, Pickett. He's going to run it. Gets what he can. Got down inside the 40, I think close to the 39. And a season in review for Pittsburgh. They can run the ball, that's for sure. Had a couple of games with over 400 on the ground. Won the Coastal Division. Won 4 of their last 5 regular season games before losing the championship game to Clemson, 42-10 in Charlotte.
Yeah, I think the taste in their mouth, though, and the motivation in this game, especially after last season when they ended with a losing record, losing those last 2 in quote-unquote blowout fashion, has to get you ready for this football game.
So a 3rd down and a manageable 6 here for Pickett. 3 wideouts to the top of your screen. He's getting heat, though. Got away from it, going deep to the end zone and overshot French. Just a little too much on it.
You know, French, for that pass, was actually turned the wrong way. And as he was trying to judge the flight of the ball, remember the wind was taking it as well. And as he's looking from the backside, the ball, see how he turns once and then turns again, he could not track it. When he turned the 2nd time, he lost his momentum going to the end zone and incomplete.
Christodoulou into punt. Michael Wilson back inside the 10.
I was thinking they might even try a long field goal here with the wind. It is a very strong wind.
They've got a good kicker.
Yes.
Here you go, Closey.
He's just going to try to punch this one and hope it lands inside the 5.
Now, see how that drifted?
Yeah,
that really
off
drifted.
on him.
That was going to land about, I thought, 6 or 7 yard line, and it just drifted another 6 yards.
So the wind raising a little havoc in El Paso for us here in the first 4 minutes and change. No score in El Paso. You know, there's a lot of guys that Stanford would like to have on the field today that they don't.
Yeah.
And there's a group. Bryce Love, of course, last year had over 2,100 yards rushing. This past season, a lot of injury situations, but they lose a starting wide receiver, Caden Smith, their tight end, and guys that are not here.
5 starters on offense.
That's a strike. Oh, the ball is out. That's a fumble.
I think it's incomplete.
Oh, wow.
I think he was bobbling it the whole time. You're right, though. It was a strike.
Arcega Whiteside is the intended receiver here on this one.
He is on the inside slot right there. Makes one fake. Oh, nice fake. Of course, he has a linebacker playing inside out, but bobbled it just enough.
Yep.
And, you know, when you come across that football, and Hamlin did just enough to force what maybe a bobble could have been a catch, Hamlin kind of finishes it up.
So 0 for 3 for Costello so far. Scarlett got 5. It'll be 3rd and 5 coming up. Dwayne Hendricks in on the stop for Pitt. Stanford started off 4-0. Then they ran into Notre Dame. They had a couple of tough losses to Washington and Washington State by 3 and 4 points. But they did win the big game after it was moved to December 1st. And they also swept their counterparts from the state of California. They beat UCLA, USC, and Cal. So that's always good for David Shaw and Stanford.
David Shaw wonders, with that Notre Dame game would have been a little different. Could everything else have changed?
It would have changed a whole bunch of things, I guess. There's a tip ball. It might. Nope. Almost caught.
Well, Dane Jackson does a great job, and he's been working all week. When we talked to Narduzzi about the Stanford offense, he said we have to stop the back shoulder throw. And look at right away, it's going to go back shoulder. Parkinson, 6'7", is matched up against Dane, and he does an excellent job anticipating the back shoulder throw and defending it.
You can't do it any better than that.
Nope.
So Bailey into punt again. Arujo Lopes is back at the 30. He fielded the last one on a hop and got a good gain out of it. This is a much better punt. Tracks him to the sideline to the 22, made the first guy miss and the second, and got away. And he's got another good punt return and hammered right into the Stanford bench.
So far, he's the player of the game.
Yeah,
I'll tell
exactly.
you that right now. Two great plays, one on the punt that hit the ground, and this time Arujo Lopes says one missed tackle, one great cut, another missed tackle, and then makes a first down. If you can make a first down with a punt return, you help your football team.
Here's a quick throw, and that's a completion out to Tasir Mack. Pittsburgh's gaining yardage. They just haven't gotten any points so far from Pat Narduzzi.
Pat Narduzzi had one matchup as an assistant coach against his Stanford team. Remember that Rose Bowl matchup he had?
When he was the defensive coordinator at Michigan State.
He was there for 8 years. And, you know, as this program, I think playing tough football, which they have to do. If you're at Pitt, you got to play tough football.
And that's been their mode of operation, including Darren Hall. Hall still on his feet. And now reverses his field, and he's all the way to the 10-yard line.
That was sweet at the end.
That was. Haven't seen that move too often. 47 yards for Darren Hall.
He's the one-step kind of like a, you know, Swift from Georgia. One step and then the speed. Then he goes. Runs right through a tackle and then does a little ole at the end of it. I like that one.
Watch him put the brakes on here on the end of this thing.
Holy cow.
One more look. A little pirouette right there.
Yeah, Debo says he did more than pirouette. He ran right through me.
First and goal at the 10. French in motion. Davis now as the tailback, and he'll get the handle. Got back to the line of scrimmage. Actually snuck a yard or two out of that. Michael Williams made the stop. Williams is one of the guys Pittsburgh was worried about, the nose guard for Stanford. Pitt coach is impressed with his play. So there's the rushing yardage, kind of what we anticipated coming in.
A little wider, to tell you the truth.
Yeah. So the ball just inside the 9 now, and second down and goal. And Wildcat here for A.J. Davis. Davis inside the 5, close to the 3.
Well, when we were talking to Quadri and Darren about next year, they both said, oh no, A.J. Davis is going to pick it up right from where we took it off. It'll be their turn next year, and you can see what it's going to look like.
Yep, sophomore out of Lakeland, Florida. He comes out, Hall comes back in. Third and goal at the 4.
Not a bad quarter.
No, just no scoring, but pretty good football.
We're used to that with Pitt in the Sun Bowl.
Don't take me back to the 3-0 game, will you? We'll return to El Paso after this message and a word from your local station. Quadri Olison came back out of the locker room. We can't quite tell what's going on, Jamie.
Well, he had his ankle taped. He then removed the tape himself. He's got his head in his hands right now. Jersey's on, but the pads indeed have been taken off, and the ice is back on his ankle. He looks pretty emotional. Teammates coming over to check in on him, but from what I can see, he's not coming back in today.
You're right. Meanwhile, his team is at the 4-yard line with a 3rd and goal.
And you wonder how many yards they have to gain if they don't score to go for it on 4th down.
They switch from under center to the shotgun. Darren Hall flanking Pickett to his right. And he's going to roll that way. Hall missed the block. Pickett's in trouble. Got away, and down he goes at the 12. Jordan Fox brings him down, and that changes everything.
Well, that was, again, Darian Hall, number 22, did not do a good job with the blocking. You have to get to the edge so your quarterback can sprint out. Watch right here. Watch the poor block to the edge.
Yeah,
and now nothing Pickett can do.
He just totally whiffed.
Yeah, Tuchel comes inside of him and forces and blows the play up. Casey Tuchel makes the play. Tuchel makes the play, and now you force the field goal.
Alex Kessman, 11 out of 14 on the year. He's got a good leg. This will be a chip shot if the wind doesn't affect it. 29-yarder. He hit the right upright and it got through.
Yeah. I think the wind cut into it and helped that one, right?
I think so. He'll take it either way.
Yes.
Here's another look. Looked like it was going to hit the pipe right in the middle, and it just skimmed across and through. And kickers, you know, they go, hey, I had it planned that way. So the Panthers on the board first. Pat Narduzzi's squad up 3-0. Some great names, coaches and players that have been in this Sun Bowl. Shady McCoy, the last one you saw there, still playing in the NFL. Tony Dorsett, of course, saw Johnny Majors and all the rest. This guy we're not going to see anymore today, and that's sad, as his day is done due to an ankle injury. Welcome back. Quarter number 2. Brad, Gary, Jamie. What's Stanford got to do? They got one of the hottest quarterbacks in the Pac-12. They got like nothing right now.
Right, 1.5 yards or in 9 plays. That's another problem for Stanford. You know, 20-plus plays to 9 plays. But now they got the win. They should settle down. I mean, you know, they had a pass that they juggled. I think they just got to do what they do. I mean, you know, just start throwing the ball and start throwing more. You can't be what you're not. And Stanford this year is a throwing football team.
Get their hands on it as Kessman, who just hit that 29-yard field goal, set to kick it off. That last drive, by the way, for Stanford, 54 yards in 6 plays. The big one was Darren Hall's 47-yard run that got him down to the 10-yard line. And Stanford will work from the 25. Pitt Panther football lost a legend recently. And you see the patch on their uniform, number 79, Bill Fralick. Always knew he wanted to don the blue and gold of his hometown school. Offensive lineman, went on to become a 3-time first-team All-American at Pitt. Was inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame in '98. Went on as the number 1 pick when I was doing the Atlanta Falcons. And Bill and I are good friends. Earned Pro Bowl honors 4 times. He died earlier this month after a bout with cancer. He was 56. Costello in the gun. Scarlett behind him. He looks to Scarlett and then throws in the middle to the tight end, and there they finally got something to go forward for almost 10 yards. Colby Parkinson.
Well, David Shaw is immensely involved in this offense and calling plays, and you have to manufacture something, and that's what he did. A tight end screen over the middle to try to get some yardage and kickstart this offense.
Well, they're up to double digits in total yardage now after that play. Out to the 45. Dorian Maddox checks into the backfield for the first time. On 2nd down and 1. Costello, pressure coming from behind, just got rid of it. It's, oh, what a hit.
Goodness.
That's a first down.
What a catch.
Yeah. Michael Wilson just got leveled by Chase Pine, the guy that's starting at middle linebacker in place of Elias Reynolds.
Yeah, but I'll give it to Chase Pine. But Michael Wilson holding on to this football. I salute him on that one. That true freshman Michael Wilson, what a grab. He knew he was going to get hit, but not that hard.
So first down almost at midfield for Wilson. The first down of the day for the Cardinal. Maddox off the left side. And Stanford's got something going, and he's still going. Down to the 36-yard line. Tough run by Dorian Maddox.
Sure did. He made somebody miss in the hole. I'm not exactly sure. I think it's a linebacker that steps right from the outside, misses the tackle. When he runs through that one-arm tackle, then he gets into the secondary and gets the extra yards.
This season, it's been a problem running the football with Bryce Love injured a lot. 7 different starting offensive line combinations. But they got a good one there. 15 yards down to the 36. Now Costello under center. Arcega-Whiteside has been quiet. It's going to be Maddox again for a couple. Dives inside the 35.
You know, what's so odd about all these injuries is that it's the offensive line. I mean, usually those guys stay pretty healthy up there. You know, you might have one injury a year, but, you know, they've had multiple injuries, and that has really thrown this Stanford offense upside down and inside out.
You know, in the previous 7 years that David Shaw's been the head coach, they used to do all that stuff where they'd have an extra lineman.
Right.
They'd overload to the side. Yeah, they don't have enough guys.
They have a punter go in the game.
Second down and 8. Cameron Scarlett back in the Stanford backfield. There's a blitz. Play action. Costello delivers a strike. Arcega-Whiteside not quiet anymore. He's down inside the 5. It's 1st and goal.
Well, you know what Arcega-Whiteside does is he wins the route at the line of scrimmage. Watch him win right here. 2 yards out, he's open. Win now. And he's right across. Great throw into the hole that time by Costello. He was patient. He waited to Whiteside get into that last hole. And Arcega-Whiteside, 225 pounds and a big reach, makes that offense go.
So now Stanford's got it working and an opportunity to take the lead. 1st and goal at the 5. Scarlett straight ahead. Backpedals inside the 1. Dwayne Hendricks saved a touchdown, but the Cardinal down inside the 1-yard line.
You know, and this is what you have to love when you're a passing team, that you can run the football, because that'll change what the other defense is going to do in this football game. Parkinson is the big mismatch. Number 84 here in the slot, the 6'7" tight end, but I think they're going to run it here.
They are, and he's in for the touchdown. No signal yet, but he's clearly in the end zone. Now we've got a touchdown signal. Cameron Scarlett from a yard.
Well, the first down play and the run allowed the offensive play to go back to the run and push it into the end zone. What a drive for Stanford. They go 4 3 and outs, and then they put together a 7-play drive. You know, in that key first down call, the tight end screen right there kind of jump-started it. I'm sitting here thinking, what could they call? What could they call? And they found a play that worked. And that's what good play calling. You got to help your team out there as the play caller.
Jet Toner in for the point after. And that one just inside the left upright. Gives Stanford their first touchdown and their first lead of the Hyundai Sun Bowl this afternoon with 7:39 remaining in the quarter. As Gary said, they started things off. Just that little push pass to the tight end, and Arcega-Whiteside, who got it all the way down to 1st and goal. And they cap it off from a yard. Well, that was the run by Maddox of 15 yards. And then it was Whiteside, and then it was a touchdown. 64 yards in 7 plays, 7-3, Stanford in front. Well, the Stanford Cardinal bucked their way 64 yards in 7 plays to take the lead, 7-3, beg your pardon, in a 4-minute drive. So finally, those two guys got something going on the long hookup, and a nice run by Maddox included in there, and then a 1-yarder by Scarlett capped it off.
And you know, that was a little bit of the frustration when we were talking to Coach Shaw about this Stanford season. You know, he goes, we start out 4-0 in that Notre Dame game. We're in that game in the 4th quarter. What would our season look like if we won that game? You know, I mean, they take Washington and Washington State right to the wire in both of those football games. He goes, in his mind, there's not that much difference from where they were 8-4 or them competing for the Rose Bowl or possibly getting into the playoffs.
All 12 of their games, they were in the game in the 4th quarter.
It's a fine line sometimes, and this year it did not swing Stanford's way.
Maurice French is going to let this one go, and Pitt will come out to the 25-yard line. Pitt takes over now offensively at the 25. A.J. Davis at tailback. That's Aston, the fullback, on the move. It's a play fake, and Pickett comes up throwing, complete, and a first down. Desir Mack.
So Pitt basically did the same thing that Stanford did on first down. They wanted a play to kickstart this drive. And remember last time they threw the receiver and the quarterback were not in sync. This time they're on the sideline. It's a first down call, and they said, we are going to test that Stanford secondary. We've got to complete a pass, or we're going to have trouble more and more running the ball.
Desir Mack, a transfer out of Indiana, picks up the first down out to the 39-yard line. They fake the jet sweep, and Pickett's going to keep it straight up the middle for the quarterback. And a pickup of about 13. Nice run by Kenny Pickett.
Yeah, that's what he brings to the table. That's what we first saw last year in that Miami football game. You know, when he sprung that upset in Miami, he brings that, you know, slipperiness at quarterback right there and gets in there and makes another first down.
14-yard run to the 47. So Pitt back in Stanford territory as we approach 6.5 minutes first half. Now they go back to an I backfield with Aston the fullback. And Davis behind him, and Davis breaks one out for 12 more.
He just doesn't miss a block. When you have a fullback, like this is how the I formation first started. When you had a fullback that could clean up the play and give you the crease in both directions, that allows you to run the ball. That was how the I formation was designed. You can attack the ball from the right side. You know, that's, you know, Billy Sims, Barry Sanders, Tony Dorsett. We've seen that for years. That's why that I was developed and why that fullback position was so important.
He's got a great feel for where the defender's coming from, and now they fake the jet sweep again, and Pickett goes to the 30. Thomas Booker made the tackle.
The trouble with modern football, and I was talking about this with Pat, is the rules have changed. Now with the ability to run the RPO, you know, the targeting in the secondary, there's so many yards available in the passing game that it's hard to just give them up.
Right.
It's hard to be one-dimensional, run the ball. You can run the ball, but you have to be pretty close to, you know, 60-40, 55-45. Keeps the ball in that time. I don't know if that was a busted play or a misread or a zone read or whatever, but it did not look right. Kenny Pickett kept the football in this one. Let's see what he was. Yeah, he kept it by design.
I guess so.
Wasn't a very good read. Casey Toohill was standing right there looking right at him, so I give that one as a mental mistake to Kenny Pickett.
See if he can get it back on 3rd and 5.
Funny how those mental mistakes for quarterbacks turn into physical injuries, by the way.
Exactly.
You read it wrong, you pay the price.
In the ACC title game, they had all kinds of trouble on 3rd down. They were 3 out of 17. They got 3rd and 5 here. Quick slant, got it. And they got that first down. Yeah, nice throw to Maurice French.
Made up for it, but on those short throws, the receiver does not have a lot of time to adjust to the ball, so you got to put it right in the stomach. There it is, right on the almost the left side of his body. You're able to chest catch it. That's a good play on those type of slants, like a Michael Irvin, a chest catcher like that. Protect the football and make the first down.
French had 6 touchdown receptions on the year. That's a big first down for him to the 20-yard line. Darren Hall back in at tailback. It's going to be Pickett straight up the middle. Lowers his shoulder, and he's got a first down.
Well, he read this one right, I'll tell you that. This is the inside read, and this is, you know, right off the Matt Canada and now Sean Watson. He's reading this guy right there. The end. I was one off. I thought I had the right guy. I had to do it so fast that time. I was one off, and he's reading that inside defensive end, and he just reads it and follows right inside of him. Nice play by Pickett.
Pickett, an 11-yard run to the 9, where it's 1st and goal at the 3.5-minute mark. Pitt trying to regain the lead here. And now they go back to the high backfield and a couple of tight ends. Let's see if Darren Hall gets the call. He will. Tries to cut it outside, backpedals a little bit and got near the 6.
Nice job by Stanford that time. That defensive line made Darren Hall bounce it outside. I thought maybe the pursuit would handle it, but the pursuit was caught up in that offensive line's kind of mush forward, and he got caught in it and could not make the play. It was a positive play.
Still got 3 out of it somehow. As we work our way under 3 in the 2nd quarter.
And remember, with Van Lin in there, they actually have 3 tackles in the football game. Number 87, the tight end, is a tackle, basically.
Second and goal at the 6, and it's Hall for the touchdown. Darren Hall from 6 yards out, and the Panthers are back in front.
And it was Van Lin, number 87, the extra. He's a tight end. He's got an 87 number, and he is 290 pounds. He was at the beginning of the year number 59. They gave him a tight end number, but he is a tackle on this play. Let's see what the job he does. Closes down and then cleans up on the linebacker. 2 blocks. That's what you have to do when you're a tight end / tackle.
Extra point by Alex Kessman. Up and right down the middle. So a 75-yard march in 9 plays. Took a little over 5 minutes. Pitt will get the ball to start the second half, and they'll have a 3-point lead at that point. Halftime of the Sun Bowl on CBS, presented by Hyundai. Both teams trotting off to the locker room. Good first half. Down to Jamie.
Coach, you had a couple weeks to think about this matchup, to take the lead, lose it, regain it. What fight are you seeing from your group?
You know, our guys fight. I mean, if you know Panther football, our guys are going to fight for 60 minutes all the time, and overtime if they need it. Our guys are never going to give up. We know we're going to have a challenge today, and so far we got a 4-point game, and we need to come out and swing in the second half.
All right, Coach. Thank you.
Thanks, Jamie.
That is the end of the second quarter as the Stanford band scurries about. End of the first half. 10-7. Pitt out in front as we head to Adam and the guys in New York. Set to start the third quarter. Pitt at halftime with a 10-7 lead, and they'll get the football first to start the third here in El Paso. So Jake Bailey's got it teed up for the Cardinal. That's Maurice French back at the goal line for the Panthers. Second half underway, and Maurice will watch that one go out the back of the end zone, and Pitt will come out to the 25-yard line, and we'll bring you back in the booth. Brad Nessler, Gary Danielson. Pitt kind of doing what they do, Gary, running the ball. Darren Hall's got close to 100, but something's got to happen with the Stanford passing game.
My impression is like they're both a little bit one-dimensional teams, but Pitt was better one-dimensional with their other dimensions. Stanford had nothing else, okay? And they got to watch this third down. You mentioned the championship game. It happened to them against Notre Dame. They were 3 for 13. The plays will start to mound up for the other team. You just can't win. So right in this game right now, it's all going Pitt way, but a close football game, just 3.
So Kenny Pickett and company up at the 25-yard line. There's Aston, the fullback, on the move to the right. The pass is going to come to the left. That is Maurice French. And French broke 1 tackle, but he won't get away from the other 2. As we check in with Jamie.
Well, a seemingly frustrated David Shaw coming out of the locker room took some of that emotion out actually on the Pittsburgh special teams, kicking their field goals into the Stanford team before they took the field. Once I finally was able to catch up with him, he just was frustrated with how they were unable to connect long plays other than that 1 touchdown drive. As far as the second half goes, he says, we have 30 minutes to play a special football game with this group. I just told him take advantage of it while you have it.
Good advice. Second down and 6, and it's Hall for 1, maybe 2. It's going to bring up a third down as we take a look at the first half trends. As I said, Pitt doing what they do. Hall closing in on 100 yards. Olison left with an injury. Costello, unlike KJ Costello day, of 44 yards throwing the football. And Stanford had more punts than they did first downs.
I think the other factor in this game, obviously Pitt came ready to play.
Yeah, they did.
No doubt about that. But I think it's really standing out the speed that Stanford does not have in this football game that, they had when they're on all cylinders. Love, Irwin, and Caden Smith not being in the game.
Been a factor for sure. See how Pitt does with their first third down situation. Almost intercepted. Elijah Holder had a better shot at that than the intended receiver did, and it's a 3 and out.
Yeah, Holder had Mack that time, number 11 for Pitt on the slant. Stays with him. Ball is behind, and Holder had a better opportunity at it than Mack did. So good defense, a 3 and out, and maybe some of that frustration that David Shaw showed to down at on the sideline there is rubbed off on his football team.
Christodoulou to punt. End over end wobbler. Wilson's going to field it at the 31. Broke one tackle, trying to get to the outside. And he got a nifty 5 or 6 yard return out of it. So pretty good field position to start with for the Stanford Cardinal. And we'll see their offense on the field when we come back. First half possessions for Stanford, not good. 4 3-and-outs, then a touchdown, and another punt. Let's see what they do with their first possession of the third quarter.
4-3 is a good poker hand, but not good at football.
From the 37, play fake by Costello. Pressure coming down. He goes, sandwiched between two guys. Rashad Weaver is there, and KJ still down, and so's one of his linemen.
Yeah, I'm not sure. You know, David Shaw told Jamie that he was frustrated with the big plays they left on the field. I don't know what he really was talking about, because this is what I've been seeing. Pressure on the quarterback, covered players downfield, and I haven't seen them miss very many plays. When the two defensive ends, Hendricks and Weaver, meet at the quarterback, bad things happen.
And KJ Costello took one right in the ear hole from Dwayne Hendricks.
And that could have been called too.
Meantime, it's Jack Richardson at quarterback. Henry Hattis at tackle.
Former walk-on. Both of Jack's parents attended Stanford, so it's been a lifelong dream.
And on the ground is Scarlett. He's going to lose yardage. And it was Zeiss, the outside linebacker, the first guy there.
See, if I was KJ, I'd just wave him in for one more play here on 3rd and 20.
You have this one.
Yes.
KJ's coming back in, though.
I know. No, you always run back in. I'm just kidding, but I mean.
3rd down at 18, you're going to have it.
Exactly. And remember, they 0 for 5 on 3rd down unless they pull off maybe their best play besides the Whitehead slant.
Pitt loading up as they might blitz. They don't. They keep it on the ground, and it's Scarlett. Not going to get the first down, but he got a bunch of it, about 15 of it.
Remember earlier, Pitt ran a 3rd and 10 for a first down. So the way they're pass blocking and knew where to tackle in there, I'm surprised, you know, that Pitt did not anticipate a running play, and they got a lot out of it.
Looked like they were thinking about going on 4th down and 2, but here comes a punting team. So another 3-and-out situation. Jake Bailey to kick. Rafael Araujo-Lopes standing back at the 10-yard line.
Uh-oh, bad one. Off the side of his foot.
Wow, sails almost into the crowd.
This might just barely be a first down punt. Will it get past the down marker?
They're coming out across the 40 to the 44.
Yeah, by 8 yards. What, a 9-yard punt?
16, George says.
All right.
But it was not a good one.
Sideways. That, by the way, that was with the wind, too.
Maybe he was trying to put it in the Gatorade bucket. I'm not sure. The Panther offense out there at the 44 after that shank punt.
When is Pitt going to try to throw a deep ball in this game?
Well, they do what they do out to the 50. A.J. Davis that time.
They continue to control the clock, the number of plays. As we mentioned in that Pitt type of games when they ran the ball well, you know, they put what, over 490 yards against Virginia Tech. Who would even think that you could run for those many yards?
But
so
Foster's still having a nightmare over that.
Exactly.
At 492 in that game, 484 in the Duke game. 6 touchdowns in one, 4 in the other. Right now they're at midfield with a 2nd down and 4. That's Aston again on the move. Here comes that play fake in the long ball, Gary.
I was wondering when it's going.
And it's caught at the 10-yard line by Tasir Mack.
You knew it was coming. Tasir Mack, transfer from IU, by the way, who they think is going to be a really good football player in the long run. This time, a little bit of a jump ball, and Mack is the one who adjusts to it and makes the play over Holder.
Great elevation, goes up
Well, I thought it'd come on first down, but the second down was just.
You were only a play
Yeah,
off.
that's right. That's right.
First and goal for the Panthers. 5 minutes into the third quarter. Max third catch for 63 yards. That one good for 41.
Now I run it at number 87. Edge of the end of that line right over there. Tight end. Here they go right there.
Davis weaves his way down inside the 5. Well, he's going to be stopped at about the 6. I take it back.
You know, Ness, in Detroit, when I had Billy Sims, we had a tight end, David Hill, who was about a 285, 90-pound blocker like that. And everybody knew it was going to the tight end. Didn't matter.
Didn't matter.
It was like having, he was lined up next to Keith Dorney, an All-American from Penn State, and he and David Hill would just knock that line. And as long as I didn't get in the way, we did pretty well on that type of play.
From the 6.
David Shaw's father, Willie Shaw, coached
That's right.
at Detroit, and so David was there in between Billy Sims and Barry Sanders. Not a good time.
Here's a pitch. Darren Hall, can he get to the edge? No way. Dropped at the 10. Good job by Debo.
So again, you know, you keep trying. If you're Sean Watson, the offensive coordinator, try to find different ways to run the ball. But this time, cannot get around the corner. Good job at the end of that line of scrimmage that time on the outside by Joey Alfieri, number 32, where he refused to be blocked, and that's why the defensive back was able to make the play.
We saw the Florida Gators use a play like that to some pretty good success this year against Tennessee.
And by the way, in the against Michigan, did the same stuff.
They did it. Yep. So it's third and goal, and they're going to have to earn it now. It's back at the 10-yard line. Pickett scans the field, now running for his life. Throws incomplete behind Darren Hall. And that'll bring out the field goal unit.
Well, I'll tell you, Orozio Lopes, number 82, was wide open, and Pickett never saw him in the end zone. He got kind of zeroed in on his tight end, and Lopes is see number 82 jumping in the screen right there. He had crossed the middle of the field and was wide open and never got seen waving. He just waving.
Looking like he's hailing a cab back there.
And Pickett never looked upfield to find another receiver.
Alex Kessman will try a 28-yard field goal. Hit one earlier in the game. Right hash mark, kind of a tough angle, but he got it up and in to add to the Pittsburgh lead. So 8 minutes, 13 seconds remaining in the third quarter.
That was a big stop by this Stanford defense. After the big pass play, they stopped them.
Forced the field goal. Pitt extends its lead after a 46-yard drive in a little over 3 minutes. 13-7 Panthers. Oh, we are just not a group and a crew. We're a family with our final game together for 2018. And going to have to down that, take a knee, bring it out to the 25. So 21 seconds remaining, third quarter. Stanford still just 6 down. If they can get some offense going. Scarlets.
Same formula, though. Same formula. Try to take some pressure off that offensive line and get the running game going and throw the ball later in the series.
That's going to bring our third quarter to a close on that 4-yard run by Scarlett. So we got a 1-possession game. We've got 15 minutes left to play in El Paso. End of the third quarter. Pitt Panthers 13, Stanford Cardinals 7. We'll return to El Paso right after this message and a word from your local station. Again, some of the familiar faces and players from past Sun Bowls. Here, the 85th edition set to go to the fourth quarter with the Pitt Panthers in front, but Stanford still very much in the football game. It's a 1-possession game right now at 13-7 starting the fourth quarter. This is the last time you'll see us on camera this year. I know a guy that liked this football game, though, because it's hard hitting.
You know, our football family had the terrible news with Bill Fralick, but we got some good news. Matt Millen, who played with all heart, got a new heart. I know if Matt can, he's watching our football game here today. Good friend of mine, yours I know, and CBS as well.
Good luck, buddy.
You bet. One of the best of all time, and glad to have you back. Get back here on camera.
Exactly. Scarlett close to a first down.
If you ever go out to eat with Matt, he eats right off your plate.
Sure he does.
You know that? When you eat, he goes, what do you got? He starts cutting right off your plate. He's the best.
Matt Millen, great player at Penn State, then in the NFL, and then a comrade of ours in the broadcast booth for many years.
God, nobody played with more heart and passion. How ironic, right?
Exactly.
Had to be great. His great doctors hopefully save his life.
3rd down and 1 for the Cardinal. It's been Scarlett pretty much on this drive, and it's him again, and he's got the 1st down. And there is a 3rd down conversion in the 4th quarter.
And that's, no matter what you were, they have to at least be able to run a little bit in this particular game again. And that's why balance is so important throughout the whole year. You know, everybody says, even the Stanford fans, I was reading the clips about Stanford, and they said, why not just do what you do best, throw? Yeah, but you get to that game where you got to have something else. And that's why you have to have the balance to do both in modern football.
Still only just over 100 yards of offense, but a very important 1 yard that Scarlett picked up to keep this drive going. And they're going to give it to him again. And he gets another decent gain out of it. Shane Roy made the stop.
You know, when I think of Stanford and Pitt, I think of Marino and Elway.
Yeah.
Remember the 1983 draft? Well, I was playing in 1983, and those two guys were coming out, and that was like being a singer at a club, and Frank Sinatra might be taking your job. You know, be like, if Frank Sinatra wants to come to Detroit, you're gone.
You're gone.
So luckily Marino or Elway didn't come to Detroit.
That was the famous draft of what, 6 guys?
83, 6 guys. And
in the 1st round.
Todd, your partner too, Todd Blackledge.
Todd Blackledge, who is going into the Sugar Bowl Hall of Fame tomorrow. Ledge, congratulations on that.
Absolutely. Nice throw there too. See, this time get a little protection, run just a little bit, get the ball to the outside, and Sega-Whiteside, does he bobble this or not? He catches it.
Strong
He's got
hands.
it. Yeah, look at those strong hands, and he takes it.
You were saying
new way of catching the football, and Stanford's great at it.
I was just going to say, you should explain that. They keep the ball away from the defenders.
They do not. When we were playing back in the day, you were taught to catch it and tuck it right away. Get your body on the ball. Now they're teaching the receivers to catch it and pull it out like a rebound in basketball. Keep it away from the defender. You saw a textbook of it right there.
Play action. Costello down the middle. Got it there. Sega-Whiteside again on the run. Sega-Whiteside inside the 5. Almost scored.
It's like magic. Put a little run game in there, and all of a sudden the pass game works.
49 yards.
Here he is, right here to the top. Gets inside off that jam, and it's a hook and go. Stutter. What a nice design play. You have time to do that with the play action pass. Looks like Sega-Whiteside was going to stay there. No. He just keeps going. Ball is delivered on time, and all of a sudden, a drive again that starts out with a couple runs, and all of a sudden, those passing play works. Magic.
Sega-Whiteside has gone over 1,000 yards receiving now.
He's eligible to come out, and I think he should.
Yeah, I do too. That big gain, 49 down to the 3.
Now they're switched. Left is 19, slot 84.
This time it will be the keeper, and the ball is out, but it caught.
Oh my goodness.
By Scarlett for a touchdown.
He faked it to Scarlett. They tried to run it. He fumbled it to Scarlett. And frankly, I don't give a damn.
It's a 2-yard play for a touchdown.
How about that? Fake, nothing,
fumble,
and right to him
touchdown.
Again. Unbelievable. Just like they didn't draw it up.
Yes, exactly. And now a team has been struggling all day long, and players are even laughing on the sideline.
Yes.
They're an extra point away from taking the lead.
Holy cow. Trying to get a little cute with the quarterback keeper, and it didn't work, and Septa did.
Extra point, Jet Toner in to try to make it 14-13. High snap, and the kick was partially blocked, and it got through. A little bit of everything on that play.
Well, it started out with their first third down conversion of the day, running the ball, then the sideline cut, then the deep pass, and then the miracle play right there. You can't even design them like that.
Cameron Scarlett on a 2-yard fumble pass, something or other. Stanford's in front.
Stanford, Cameron Scarlett with the conventional 1-yard touchdown pass and the unconventional on the next one.
That's right.
Well, last time Stanford scored to take a 7-3 lead, Pitt came right back to score and answered it. Can they do it again?
Jake Bailey has had a busy leg today between kickoffs and punts. That's Maurice French back at the goal line for the Panthers. And Maurice might have a chance at this one. Nope, going to take a knee. Now back to Darren Hall. Hall across the 40, out near midfield. Another great run by Darren Hall.
Well, I don't know if it's the reason, but Mike Herndon is back in the game, number 66, the right guard, so this Pitt offensive line is back intact. And this time Herndon pulls around and cleans up on the linebacker and makes the key block.
And with that one, Darren goes over 100 yards for the 8th time this year. A 19-yard pickup out to midfield.
Jamie had that story about Hall, about how Narduzzi was recruiting him. He said he was looking at Hall back when he was even at Michigan State. Thought he was one of the 2 best backs in all of Ohio that year and was going to recruit him at Michigan State. So he brought him to Pitt instead.
Play action. Pickett might want to take a shot here. Deep on the sideline, overshot Mack.
Got him. Nice job that time. Taser Mack is running it out and up, and he's going to go long. But there's a read to it. If you're not fooled, you go out. Watch him go out and up. But if you don't beat him, you stop. And then you get the comeback pass. So that's the read off, but not an accurate throw. Nice job by Mack.
Pickett 10 out of 22.
That's the one that hurts. If a quarterback has to kick that one back to the huddle, that's tough. Missing a wide open guy like that.
2nd down and 10. Hall straight ahead for about 7. That'll bring up 3rd and short. 3rd and 3.
And now you think, do you take 2 downs to do this? You know, or do you punt it deep to Stanford again? But they got their offense going because you're now 3rd and 3. You're in here 10 minutes in the 4th quarter. You start to think about these 4th down plays.
You also have a kicker, if you get a little bit closer, that can hit from long range, or at least has in his career. 3rd down and 3.
Interesting. No Aston on this play right here.
Hall, he's got the 1st down. He's got more than that. He's taken Cardinal defenders with him to the 35-yard line.
So the question was, would they miss George Aston? They went shotgun, no fullback to follow. So what does Hall do? He's not supposed to be the power back, but there he says, oh yeah, I am.
He'll get a breather. A.J. Davis will come in for him, but Hall has had a great game, as he's had so many of throughout this season. There's his numbers, 124 on 15 carries. Malik Carter in the lineup as well. They've run him on some jet sweeps today, and here he comes again. And they fake it to him. Pickett loads, fires, incompletes. Intended for Davis.
Bobby Oriki does a great job this time. Inside linebacker, the jet sweep starts, and watch Oriki react to it. It's going to be an out and up, but it's thrown to the back shoulder, but he's there to dislodge the ball. That is great inside linebacker play. And as a veteran, Oriki has seen just about everything from the Pac-12, and he reacted brilliantly there.
Second down and 10 from the 35. Here's a slant thrown behind the intended receiver.
Missed him again. This was an RPO, one of those plays where the quarterback, Pickett, says, I'm going to make the decision to throw the slant. He had him. Now, did he get a little bit of stuff in it. Yeah, he got a little bit of pressure inside.
Dalen Wade Perry
yes, it
hit
was.
him in the chest.
And that's what really caused that one. Dalen Wade Perry got just enough of them to just make it an inaccurate throw.
So it's going to bring up 3rd and 10. If they don't get this again, Alex Kessman's career-long field goal is 56 yards.
And this would be, what, 52-53 right from here.
And a fumble.
Now it's going to be more. Holy cow. That's really 3 plays in a row that Pickett could have made a big play, or 3 out of 4. But now it goes to a 55-yard field goal almost on this thing. But 3 in a row that the quarterback just couldn't make the play for the offense. Not easy, but just could have been made.
So Alex Kessman, his career long, as I just mentioned, 56. And as Gary said, they're putting it right at the 45 of the
I
hole.
wonder if they just want to punt this. I mean, a lot of time left. This is a long way.
Kessman from 55.
Nope.
And nowhere. Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to hit somebody down there with a camera.
I don't know. I think that's a bit of that's a challenge. To depend on a 55-yard field goal and you give the ball to Stanford in this field position. If Stanford makes 2 first downs, we're going to be down to 4 minutes in the game.
Well, the snap was clean. The hold was good. The kick was horrible.
Yes. That was really good analysis. I'll tell you that right now.
A chance to add to their lead, maybe salt the game away depending on the length of the drive.
See if they follow the formula, start out trying to run the ball, and they do.
And they got about 5.
This is basically back to Stanford football right now.
Yep.
Okay, this is what we've seen. You know, David Shaw's been, what, 8 years here at Stanford, and this is how they started out. You run the ball a little bit, you keep that defense and those linebackers feeling downhill, and then you look for the pass plays off of it, and you eat clock.
You know, Cameron Scarlett came into this game with only 236 yards rushing on the season because Bryce Love was the offense when he was healthy as far as the ground game. And he's having a good game right now with 75 on 18 carries. And they're going to give it to him again. And he's going to deliver again. Another first down run.
You know, that second throw, the deep one to J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, this was just such a great throw. That's the first one to the outside. But on the second one, where he throws the ball down the middle, this delivery, as he knew he was going to get hit and take that punishment from the outside, that time by Jones, that might have been the best throw that Costello had in the football game. He knew he was going to get it that time.
He's been hit pretty often today as well. First down as we're under 7 minutes. Here comes a blitz, a run blitz. Scarlett, can he run past it? He did, and he's still going. Another 9-yard run.
Well, you can see the difference. This Stanford offensive line that struggled with pass protection now gets some blocking, and that time it was Faneka. Number 71, they cleared the hole. Brandon Faneka, number 71, the senior, just took his man and drove him out of the way. What a play.
Cameron actually went for 10. They give him the first down at the 42-yard line. Dorian Maddox now will come back in at the tailback spot. Stanford huddling up, using a little bit of clock, which continues to work its way towards 6 minutes.
And the hurry up no huddle has gone to the huddle, go as slow as I can offense.
Maddox. Nice cut.
Whoa.
That left somebody holding on to nothing but air.
Yeah, Dane Jackson, number 11 that time, had a chance on the play, but Maddox just left him clapping afterwards, saying, I thought I had him, but I didn't.
Dorian Maddox, who really planted his foot to get it down to the 38-yard line. Now he's got 3 runs for 22.
And the clock keeps ticking down. I said a couple first downs, and Pitt will not get the ball back with, under 4 minutes. If they do.
If they get it back. Yep. Exactly. Maddox not going to get the first down this time, but he does get it to the 36.
So this Pitt defense started out controlling 3rd down. And now they need a third down stop very badly. The other ones all led up to this one. Since Stanford got that first conversion, they've been successful on the third down conversions again.
Yeah, they went 1 for 9 to start things off.
But now they need this one. This is the money game right here. Because if they get one here, Pitt will be forced to start using their timeouts.
Scarlett's back in there on 3rd down and 3. Would be a huge 3 if they give it to him. They do, but Pitt's waiting for him that time. And Jalen Twyman made the stop.
Yeah, now this will be over a 50-yard field goal if they want to try a field goal. And now it'll be David Shaw making a decision right here.
Jet Toner's career long is 46.
And this is into the wind, too.
Here comes a punt.
Yeah, they got a punt.
Nice job by Twyman, the redshirt freshman.
If you're Pittsburgh, you're telling each other, do not jump off sides and be ready for some kind of fake punt.
End over end kick. Bounces down inside the 5. Can't do it any better than that.
You know, Araujo Lopes that time, not to jump on him, but he did not disguise it. He didn't pretend like he was going to fair catch it. He just ran out of the way and allowed Stanford to not even think he was going to catch the ball that time. You can make a play by helping it out. So when he's not, he just runs away from the punt. Stanford's allowed to go for the football. They did no fakery or trickery at all from Lopes.
See if they can do it by ground. Not this time. Hall's dropped for a loss.
Wow, Casey Tuhill that time, number 52. The senior just beat his man so badly to get into the backfield. He has made a lot of plays to the outside of this football position. On the right side, he just gets inside and blows the play up before it even gets started.
Alex Buxer almost didn't get a hand on him at all.
Remember early they were trying to run those wide plays and he was turning it inside too. He has had a really good football game too.
So now it's 2nd down and 11 and the clock working its way down to 3 minutes.
He fought injuries a little bit this year, but now finally healthy for this football game, and he's showing it.
They're going to put Aston back in there at fullback. He's on the move. The ball's probably going that way. It's a play fake. Pickett pumps, waits, fires on the sideline. Incomplete.
Well, they were trying to do a little too much. They tried to hitch a go again, and Elijah Holder was not fooled again. Nice job by Holder. Watch him out here. He gets a hitch and go, but he does not bite. There's the hitch, stays deep, and just blows up the plate. Great defense from Holder. A little too greedy there, it seems to me, trying to get, you know, a 95-yard touchdown pass. I'm looking for something to get a first down here. There's 3 minutes to go in the game.
The first down would come at the 14 if they can get one. 3rd down and 11. Here comes a blitz. It's picked up pretty well. Pickett in trouble. Throws.
What a play.
Did he catch it? He did.
You can't run more to your left than that for Pickett that time.
He's hurting.
He lets it go and he gets hit as he releases the ball. I wonder if he falls on his arm after he let it go.
Meanwhile, heck of a catch by French.
Could not tell if he got it or not, to tell you the truth.
I think he got his hands under it and then slid.
It looked like the ball was moving a little bit, but
after further review, the receiver did not maintain possession while it hit the ground, therefore the pass is incomplete.
So you finally got one.
It will be 4th down at the 3-yard line. Stanford will receive their timeout back and will have one additional challenge.
So it's going to be 3rd down. It was 3rd down and 11 at the 3, so it's 4th down.
And 11.
And 11.
So do you punt, or do you go for it, or do you take a safety and try an onside kick?
Well, that's not a bad thought.
You know, I mean, 4th is an onside kick of better odds at getting the ball back than 4th and 11?
Well, they've got their offense out there. Pickett wants to throw, does, and got it out to the 19-yard line. Same guy. He held on this time.
A little higher throw, and that one was caught for sure, French. Get inside, good protection, and threw it, and caught very well. Nice play, a 4th down pressure-packed play for Pitt.
That might have been Kenny Pickett's best throw of the day. It sure was the biggest one anyway. Now the play fake and goes back out to French. Trying to get just isolation out there, and he did get something out of it. So Maurice French, junior out of New Brunswick, New Jersey, 2 big catches back to back. Still plenty of time, 2:23.
And remember, you only need a field goal.
Yep.
You know, you get to the 40-yard line roughly, you get a chance for one.
You can't kick it like the last one.
No, that was, as analyst Nestler said, horrible.
2nd down and 4 at the 24. Four wide outs.
Don't get greedy. Make first downs.
Pickett in trouble. Has to throw late lines.
Very smart play.
Casey Toohill coming after him again.
Live to fight another day. Not there. Get rid of it. Line up on 3rd down. Boy, he took a hit there, though.
Haven't used Darren Hall as a receiver at all today.
Now, Kenny Pickett, who said, oh, man, he got a double that time.
Yeah, he did.
No Fieri at the end of it, too. You know, he said, the best I saw was Clemson, let me tell you. They got 4 NFL guys up front. So he's been hit by the best.
He sure has. He got hit often in that ACC title game. On 3rd down, can he come up with another one? Pickett in trouble, going to try to run for it. He's going to be brought down by Toohill.
Well, we're going to get our 2nd, 4th down play, and Pitt has to take a timeout here. Good call by Pat.
So we'll take a timeout as well. 1:44. Who's going to win the Sun Bowl? Find out when we come back. That marker says it all. We're late in the 4th. It's 4th and 3. What do you do here, partner?
Well, do you have enough guts to slip the ball to Darian Hall, number 22, and see if he can pop it from 4 yards? Because if you throw short, Stanford's going to squat on it. It seems to me you're going to have to go more than a 5-yard pass route if you want to complete it.
Pickett's favorite target when he's thrown, at least late in this game, has been Maurice French.
The numbers are not good for running. There's 6 in the box. Got to throw.
And throw they do. Broken up. Intended for Mack. And Stanford takes over.
It was either tipped or not a very accurate pass. It seemed low to me. Had Mack on the slant. Fakes it. One-on-one. Nobody in his face. Oh, yeah, just a little low, and Mack could not handle it. Could have got his arms underneath it, and Stanford, with only 1 timeout left for Pitt, is going to win the football game.
Which will be their 9th win of the year. And it'll be a disappointing end of the season for Pitt on a 3-game losing streak, and they'll finish 7-7. And it's amazing because they had control of the game really through 3 quarters.
Remember when we had the good news, bad news, and we said everything is dominating except the score.
Yep.
And then Stanford went back to old Stanford football, and that's what changed the game.
And you got to give the offensive line, the banged-up offensive line, and Cameron Scarlett, who's in the backfield right now, a lot of credit for that.
And that one throw by Costello when he was under pressure, he made that one electric throw.
Here's Scarlett again. He just wants to stay in bounds and get down.
Well, I don't understand it. If I was Pitt, I would let Stanford score right now. It's the only chance you have to win the game. I don't even know why Stanford tried to run.
End around to Wilson, and Wilson down the sideline. He slides.
After
Good move.
First down, take a knee to win the game. Good coaching by David Shaw. So you have a chance. First of all, you eat clock on the reverse. If it doesn't work, who cares? Number 2, if you get in the space, get a first down and take a knee.
Smart move for a freshman with the slide.
Good scheming. Did you hear that?
Yes, scheming.
Good scheming.
You're a good schemer. That's what I've said. At the 13-yard line now, Stanford Pitt can't stop it anymore. If they're going to let them score, they got to do it right here.
No, it's taking a knee now. They had their chance on first down is when they could have done it.
So they're in the victory set. And there's the knee. And then somebody almost hit the quarterback late. Never a good way to end a game. So the schemer, we're going to turn Gary Danielson over to the golf course. We're going to turn Jamie Erdahl over to the American Alliance of Football. Condoleezza Rice getting ready to celebrate. I'm going to go on and do some basketball, but just want to thank our crew, Craig Silver, our producer, Steve Milton, our director, our great family group we have every year together as we wind up our football season.
Our rookie Jamie Erdahl, who did a great job this year, huh?
She sure did. And next you'll see Jamie on the American Alliance of Football.
Wonder who else you might see there.
You know, you might see you there too. I told you I'm going to basketball.
Yeah, all right. Good luck. See you in March.
See you. So Stanford comes from behind and wins the 85th Hyundai Sun Bowl 14-13 over the Pitt Panthers. And for David Shaw, a 9-win season. And for Pitt, kind of a tough way to end it all as they drop to 7-7. And the fireworks going off Sun Bowl Stadium. Both teams getting together down on the field. Down to Jamie with the winning coach.
All right, Coach, when we talked at halftime, there was maybe some frustration with some explosive plays. What was the difference in your mind in the second half?
Well, our 2 touchdown drives, we get big plays in the passing game. So we wanted to run the ball and establish the run. We had big plays there. We hit 1 in the first half, and we missed 2 because of pass protection. Second half, the same thing. We had guys open down the field, and we couldn't pass protect. So the ones that we hit, the ones we scored on. So, but I got to say this about the defense now. Bobby Okereke, I mean, played so well. Our inside linebacker, he and Sean Barton played so well. Frank Bunko made some big plays today. All those guys played really well.
You talked about in 2018, you had so many close moments with this team. What did this performance in particular really tell you about Stanford football in this year?
This game was very indicative of our entire season. We still had guys get hurt, get banged up. We had guys step up. We didn't play our best football. When it was time to make the plays to win the game, we made the plays to win the game.
All right, Coach, thank you.
Thank you.
That's exactly what happened today with Stanford. They never quit. They hung in there despite some injury problems, and they win it at the end by 1. Congratulations to the Stanford Cardinal on their 9th win of the year, and they are the winners of the 85th Sun Bowl here on CBS. That's going to wrap it up for us for the season. Hope you all have a happy and healthy new year. For Gary Danielson, Jamie Erdahl, Brad Nessler saying so long from El Paso. 14-13, the Stanford Cardinal. CBS Sports College Football Postgame Show presented by Capital One is coming up after these messages. So long from Sun City, El Paso, Texas, and Happy New Year.